Hey guys, today's episode is heavy. Last time Bali fell, and even though Sugriva got his kingdom back, it didn't feel like a celebration. Because when something like this happens, it's never just about winning or losing, it's about what people lose along the way. So today, we're going deeper. Right after Bali falls, everything goes quiet. And I mean really quiet. No one cheers, no one celebrates. Even the monkeys of Kishkindha are just standing, frozen, struck by what just happened. Because when someone this powerful falls, you don't react immediately. You process. Then Tara arrives. She had warned Bali to not go out, but he didn't listen. She runs toward the battlefield. And the moment she sees him, she just stops, like time froze. She walks slowly, kneels beside him, and for a few seconds, she didn't even cry. And then it hits her. She holds Bali and starts crying. And this is where we need to understand something. Bali wasn't just a king to Tara. He was everything. Now, let me tell you something about them. Before all this conflict, before anger took over, Bali and Tara were a strong team. Bali was powerful, Tara was wise. Whenever Bali got angry, she was the one who balanced him. She would give advice to him, guide him. And most of the time, he used to listen to her. Yeah, he actually listened. But slowly, as Bali became more powerful, he started trusting his power more than her wiseness. And that's where things begin to change. Because sometimes power makes people stop listening. And then Angada arrives. He runs confused. He's like, what? Not fully understanding what's happening. But the moment he sees his father on the ground, everything changes. He rushes forward toward his father and falls beside him. And this is not just sadness, guys. This is a child realizing that his world just changed forever. Now let's slow down for a second. Because what Angada is going through right now is something very few people actually understand properly. Angada grew up in a very different environment. His father was not just like any father. Bali was the strongest warrior in the entire kingdom. So from the very beginning, Angada didn't just see him as a father. He saw him as someone invincible. Imagine someone growing up believing, my father cannot lose, my father cannot be defeated, my father will always be there. That belief becomes your reality. It becomes your safety. And then one day, that belief breaks. Not slowly, not gradually, instantly. It's gone. 1 second, it's there, and then the other second, it's not. Now, Angada is not only dealing with loss, he's dealing with something much deeper into our hearts. His understandings of the world just changed. Because if someone as strong as Bali can fall, then what is actually certain? What is actually safe? And that creates a kind of fear which is hard to explain, guys. Not fear of enemies, but fear of reality itself. Now let's go even deeper. Angada was trained to be strong, to stand tall, to fight. But in this moment, the training doesn't matter because emotions don't follow training. They follow connection. And here's the most important part. Angada is not just thinking,
my father is gone. What happens to me now?
Because earlier, his path was clear. He had a defined identity. But now, everything's uncertain. The king is gone. The throne is shifting. His uncle is becoming the king. And suddenly, his position is unclear. And that creates a very silent, deep question. That question is,
where do I belong now?
And honestly, this is something many people experience in life. When something big changes, you don't just lose a person or a situation, you lose your place in that situation. And rebuilding that takes time. So when Angada is sitting there next to Bali, he's not just crying. He's trying to understand the world that suddenly feels different. And that's why this moment is so important. Because later in the story, Angad becomes strong again. But that strength comes from going through this. Not avoiding it, not skipping it, but facing it. Sugriva was standing a little far away, watching all this. And this is not how he imagined this moment. He thought he would feel relief, maybe even happiness. But instead, he feels heavy. Because yes, Bali made mistakes, but Bali was still his brother. And now seeing Tara broken and Angad crying, Sugriva realizes this victory came with a cost. Now let's come back to Sugriva, because his journey is actually one of the most realistic ones till now. Sugriva's identity was based on one thing. I am the one who was wronged, the one who lost his kingdom, the one who had to run away, the one who needed help. And when you're in that position, your thinking becomes very focused. You only see one goal, fix what went wrong. But now that goal is achieved and something very strange happens. There's no enemy left. There's no running left. But at the same time, there's no clarity left either. Because now Sugriva has to ask completely different questions.
What kind of king will I be?
And that question is much harder than how do I get my kingdom back? Because earlier, he only had to think about survival. Now he has to think about others. Now he has to think,
how do I protect this kingdom? How do I make fair decisions? How do I avoid making the same mistakes Bali made?
and this is where real leadership begins. Not when you gain power, but when you understand what to do with it. And here's the difficult part. Sugriva cannot just forget everything that just happened. He cannot pretend everything is normal. Because the people in front of him are the same people who just lost their king. So he has to lead while carrying guilt. And that's a very uncomfortable position. Because usually leaders want confidence, clarity, control. But here, Sugriva starts with doubt. And honestly, that's what makes his journey real. Because real leaders are not perfect, they grow into the role. And this is the exact moment where that growth begins. Ram stands quietly. He doesn't rush anyone because he understands something very important. Some moments are not just meant to be fixed, they're meant to be felt. The final rites begin. Bali's body is placed with respect. The fire is lit. The flames rise. This is not about fear. This is about fearing. A warrior, a king, a brother is leaving. Now Kishkindha has no king. And without leadership, things can fall apart quickly. So everyone turns to Sugriva because whether he wants it or not, this responsibility is now his. Sugriva walks up to the throne, but every step feels heavy. This is responsibility, and he knows being a king is not easy, guys. Sugriva is crowned. The crown is placed on top of his head. People bow. But he doesn't smile because deep down, he knows what it took to get here. And honestly, this happens in real life too. Like bro, sometimes you achieve what you wanted, but it doesn't feel the same anymore. Because along the journey, things changed. And you changed. Ram steps forward, calm as always, and reminds Sugriva.
We still have something important to do. Finding Sita.
Because that mission is not over yet. And by the way, guys, that's the real mission. Now let's talk about Hanuman. Because this moment is very important for him up until now. Hanuman has not been present in the story. He has been observing, watching, understanding them. And that's something very powerful. Because not everyone needs to be in the spotlight all the time. Some people grow quietly. Hanuman has seen everything. Ram's patience, Sugriva's fear, Bali's fall, the consequences of actions. And through all of this, he is learning. Not through lectures, but through observation. And then something clicks. He realizes
This is where I am needed.
And that realization is very important. You know why? Because purpose is something someone gives you. It's something you recognize. And Hanuman doesn't step forward because someone tells him to. He steps forward because he understands. I can help you. And once someone reaches that point, they don't hesitate. Nothing this. Hanuman has strength. He has intelligence. He has loyalty. But until now, those qualities didn't have a clear direction. But now they do. And that's where a character becomes powerful. From this point onwards, Hanuman is not just part of the group. He becomes the driving force of the mission. And the interesting part is, he doesn't announce it loudly like, I am Hanuman. He doesn't say, I will do this. He simply steps forward, calm, confident, ready. And that kind of confidence is very different. And from here, his journey is about to begin. And trust me, what comes next is going to be one of the most exciting parts of the entire Ramayana. Sugriva gives the order. Teams are sent in all directions. North, south, east, west. The mission begins. So yeah, today wasn't about fighting. It was about understanding emotions of people. It was about understanding the truth. And every victory comes with a responsibility. And trust me, you're going to love what's coming next. I'll see you in the next one. This is your boy Tanishq signing off. Siya Ramachandra ki jai. Victory to Shri Ram.